So, and we have an extra battery.
I'd rather not.
And we have another extra. Okay, that's a battery. Yes. So there you go.
Nice.
Hey, you Bogart.
Apple juice.
It better be.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Now that's a prepared man.
Oh my God! You can't be the bartender at my party. Oh my God! Who's driving him home tonight? Thank you. That was awesome.
Well, that certainly explains your behavior in class.
There we go.
Okay, so if there was a cop in this room, according to Figure 1, I would be fined at least $500. I would have my license taken away for 6 months. I would have a criminal record, and I would also have to take an alcohol treatment class as at the discretion of the court. So that's a lot of penalties just for. So America really needs the drinking age lowered, especially now. Our country has many alcohol-related problems, and lowering the drinking age is exactly what it needs. While it may seem counterintuitive to have more people to drink when we need to have less of the problems associated with drinking, hopefully I can show you that this is not the case. Since the raise of the drinking age to 21 in the mid-'80s, originally instated to reduce fatalities on the roadways, we have only, the problem has only gotten worse. Drunk driving has increased as well as binge drinking. As you may recall from my last speech, only 5 countries in the entire world have a drinking age of 21, and that is the highest drinking age. The other ones being Fiji, Palau, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, which are not less intelligent as any other countries. So, if this bar represents the countries that with the drinking age of 21, then this bar represents the countries with the drinking age of 18. So that's quite a discrepancy between that. And usually, just doing things because other people, other countries do them, it's not a great idea, but in global issues such as like drinking age, it's a good idea for all the countries to be on the same page. That's why we have like things like the UN and international treaties, because that's just a good thing. So in addition to excuse me for a second.
It's alcohol.
Yeah. So according to the National Youth Rights Association, raising the drinking age to 21 has actually increased drunk driving rates and binge drinking, like I said. Mark Beckner, chief of police in Boulder, Colorado, recalls when he used to make huge drug busts, or alcohol busts at universities back in the day, when they got like pretty much the whole force and surrounded a frat house and said like come out, and they carded each and every college student, and they made just dozens of arrests and tickets. And Mark Beckner says that it's only increased the problems with alcohol and driven it farther underground. So I propose that we bring it back to the surface. Teenagers, especially college goers, are going to drink whether or not it's legal. So instead of outlawing alcohol, I believe we need to lower the drinking age to 18, the age that most people graduate high school, and also increase education in both our schools and in our households. Unfortunately, I've had an experience or two with alcohol, as you may have seen. My youthful ambition was to own a bar and also to be a bartender. So my dad always let me mix him drinks, usually rum and coke. And sometimes he let me have these little like mini drinks just to make me feel like one of the guys. So one of these nights at a party, my dad said, go mix me a drink. And I asked him if I could mix myself one of the mini drinks. So he was like, sure, because he trusted me. So I went upstairs and I made two adult-sized drinks and proceeded to chug one of them. And so, while usually, as you can see in figure 3 here, it's supposed to be that much alcohol and that much soda, and when I made it, I had about this much alcohol. And I chugged that, and I was about 10 at the time, so by the time I delivered my father's drink, I was pretty much wasted. When I woke up the next morning, I counted all the puke puddles, and I got up to 7 or 8. I was not completely sure. but around 7. And when I woke up, I was sprawled on the living room floor using a towel with like soaked with vomit as a pillow. So it was not a very good experience for me. Unfortunately, I believe that it was a defining moment for me as a person, and I think that an equivalent experience is necessary for all people out there to show the dangers of alcohol. If this was the case, no matter what the drinking age was, people would still be generally more responsible because they know that if you get wasted, then that would happen. In addition to real-life experience, teenagers need some formal education concerning alcohol. I think in high school you should have to take a mandatory workshop, maybe a week or 2 long, which include beer goggles, weight equivalents, and maybe some other facts about alcohol. In PE, I remember throughout the year they had different units that they concentrated on, like 2 weeks for basketball, 2 weeks for CPR, stuff like that. So I'm sure they could fit in a week or 2 for alcohol. It wouldn't be that big a deal. So imagine a world where, with college students running awry, the rivers would be full to the brim with diarrhea. Explosive vomit would be the rule rather than the exception. Pollution and crime would increase, bowling averages would be way down, and mini golf scores would be way up. In other words, a horrific place in which nobody wants to live. On a more serious note, the world would really improve with this change. Binge drinking would decrease, drunk driving would decrease, hit and runs would decrease, even domestic violence would decrease. In a country where at 18 we can join the military and get blown up from far from home, in a country where we can gamble our college fund away in a single night, in a country where we can hit the strip club and pick up some stripper named Caramel, in a country where we can decide the fate of our entire country by voting for president, in that same country we have to wait another 3 years just to have a can of beer or a shot of vodka. The drinking age is too high. Outlawing drinking has made teens only abuse alcohol instead of going to the local pub and learning and getting quality education from experienced adults. We waste important police funding on enforcing laws that are futile in the first place. If you're interested in this topic, as you should be, head over to youthrights.org. They have a nice collection about the whole movement, including legal updates on this topic, research, and proposed solutions. There are also links to email and send letters to legislators, so I think that fulfills my action step. If we lower the drinking age to 18 and also increase alcohol education in America, we will have a better society filled with well-informed teenagers who you just want to have a beer with.
Where's my straight shot, man? You promised. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I go. So seriously, do you really think that it would make things better to have 18-year-olds out there drinking? Because I see 20 all the way up 24, 5, whatever, driving like idiots.
My solution was not just to lower the age.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was clear or not, but just also to increase the education. Because if you gave people education in high school, but still made them wait to 21 to drink, it'd be 3 years later, and they would have probably forgotten it.
Oh yeah,
so,
sure.
Yeah.
It's similar, I guess, but exactly how lowering the age was going to reduce drunken crimes, drunk driving, domestic violence.
It was lowering it in addition with the education. So if you give them education, then they would understand better how not to abuse it. And just imagine you're walking down the street and an 18-year-old guy passes you. Okay, now imagine the same scenario and a 21-year-old guy passes you. Is there a big difference? Like, at that age, I don't think that there's a big difference. So, yeah.
You said that since the raise of the drinking age to 21 in the mid-'80s, it was originally designed to reduce fatalities on the roadway. You said the problem has only gotten worse.
Yeah.
What problem, and how do you know it's gotten worse?